Paul Carter has gone off the deep end, dude. Like, he's just being extremely dishonest at this point. So because Paul Carter's trying to find any reason to defend the upper-lower split, he's trying to say that the stimulus period lasts longer than 48 hours post-workout. He's trying to say that it lasts like 72 hours post-workout. Because with this, then upper-lower would be more comparable to a full-body split and thus not inferior. And Paul Carter posted on his story saying that the initial part of MYOPS goes towards repair, not hypertrophy. And then he got shot down and decimated by Chris Beardsley. Then he posted this, and then this. See, the researchers were not talking about the initial part of MYOPS. They were talking about beginners' initial sessions in a training program. What they were saying is that in a beginner's initial session, they're not going to have the repeated bout effect in place, and thus they're going to have more muscle damage, so MYOPS is going to go more towards muscle damage repair. And then afterwards, once the repeated bout effect is in place and there's going to be protective mechanisms against muscle damage, then there's going to be less muscle damage, so it's going to go more towards hypertrophy and less towards damage. What makes this even worse is that he has literally said what I am saying right now before in this video from 2023. He just decided to switch up just to suit his narrative.
Muscle damage occur. There's something that happens called the repeated bout effect. The repeated bout effect puts in protective mechanisms, both at the neural and muscular level, in order to protect against future bouts of muscle damage. Now, once these mechanisms are in place, when you train, the elevated muscle protein synthesis rates can then go towards adding new contractile proteins, e.g. increasing muscle volume, hypertrophy.
Did you hear that? He said once the protective mechanisms are in place, then the elevated muscle protein synthesis rates can then go to hypertrophy, and he showed the same graph. So that means that he had to have intentionally misconstrued what the researchers said to make it seem like they were saying that it was the initial part of the MYOPS window. He's literally lying, or he's just being dumb, dude. This is insane, bro. But I hope it's helpful.